Hrum'Num, you've really put your beard in the butter this time. Thought you were gonna get out if you found Thaddeus. Thought he was gonna help you, but no, he knocks you out. Brings you back to jail. Pushes you down a slide. And now I'm here, and I could have gotten away just whenever. But now I'm here, and I knocked out a goblin, and I'm wearing his hat. And all these little goblins are looking at me. You guys look too small for what's gonna happen next, so you should read the episode descriptions. Man, I hope I get away.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Dungeons, Dragons, and Dice, A Wider World. This season, Dungeons & Dragons podcast about 4 wayward adventurers out to rescue some goblins and figure out what's wrong with Wilhelm's hole. Get through it. I'm Haribo Tamagotchi. I had a thought today. Haribo is a halfling currently, and I've said that at the beginning of every episode, but I realized right now that, fuck me, could I have just not been a halfling for a minute and been sneaky? The stealth checks would have been tens of tens as me as a not halfling. That could have been so
why
helpful.
do we just work so hard to smuggle you in disguise?
I don't know at what point did I just not become, not a halfling, then it could have been helpful. Anyway.
It's okay, I'm sure there's all sorts of shifter bonuses that I have that I don't actually know about and don't use.
There's some intimidation with you being a tiger, but again, you just get stripes and some big muscles. It's like an anime thickening.
I think there's a damage bonus, but it's a melee damage bonus also.
Mm-hmm. Also that. If you can do a scrap with a few people, you can get buff and ape out or tiger out. Anyway, the question of the day is where we're at currently, because things are intense and we want to get ourselves into this because it is a big moment.
What is your immediate focus? I hopefully want to try and restrict us to stuff in the room or places or people, places, and things on our thoughts here.
My immediate focus right now is the controls I have seen across the room. The lights have shifted from me, Haribo, to something else, drawing what I could only consider as the focus of the room. I've seen my ally somehow in charge of the goblins, which doesn't seem to I don't know what that means for us, but he's connected and I trust him. So whatever it means for us, I can trust him. And so now I need to be, I think, trusted to get to these controls that I have scoped out. And that's my immediate focus, is getting across a whole fucking room of people.
And my name is Lawrence, and I play the gelatinous bard Sparkleoneous. Sparkleoneous, I believe, has just given truly one of the performances ever. And now that the focus has shifted, I think given the circumstances, Sparkleoneous is going to have to try and get that focus back. I mean, there are certainly things going on in the room, but I don't know if it's possible, but that's where Sparkleoneous is at. He's going to try and get that focus back, just to hold on to it for a little bit longer.
Wait, you said one of the performances, one of the best or best, right?
Truly one of the performances of all time.
Like a superlative performance.
Okay. Yeah.
It is a performance that has happened.
Wait, is it superlative or is it mid?
It happened. I think my roles were pretty good. Sparkleoneous' roles. Sparkleoneous, he's confident. He's always given a good show.
Haribo's bad.
It is the situation that we find ourselves in that I don't know if the show will be able to overcome the situation. But we'll see. Maybe I roll some really good dice here in a minute.
Alrighty. My name is David Stringer, and I play Margery Ridgeback, the necromancer cleric of the group. Fun fact, also a shifter, I guess. And my focus right now in this moment is just trying to figure out how to survive. It seems like we are potentially on the cusp of being in a tight spot should things not go our way. So I think my focus is figuring out worst case scenario, bailing and getting out.
And finding a new party to join.
Fucking knew it. I knew it. I thought my brain all day for some reason. I didn't think about anyone else's goal, but in my brain I was like, Margery is absolutely, it's just gonna be me. Of course it's me. And I not in a mean way for me, but just of course it is.
And
I was like,
I'm gonna start
curious what Grace will come up with. I fucking knew it all day. I was like, how to live and leave. Fuck yeah.
Listen, right now it is best for my survival that we stay together as a group and I keep the group alive as I can. But should it no longer be in my favor to be in the group, or if she's got to urge.
Yeah, no, exactly.
All I'm gonna say,
30
I'm sorry,
episodes of
y'all.
searching.
all I'm gonna say is that Sparkleoneous does have the level 2 spell invisibility prepped. So
You
I mean,
have said that.
Sparkleoneous
I know.
isn't that far behind you, Margery.
Oh, the joy I feel. I'm so stoked.
This is why this is a fun question.
Yeah, right? An immediate, like, hey, where you at?
I am Michael, and I play Thaddeus Ofkoot, the Dwarven fighter. And my immediate priorities are split. I know I've got to take care of the goblins, but I'm hobbled with Hrum'Num, who I don't trust at all. And on top of that, I should really be with Haribo on the Dwarven machinery. So I'm torn about my current situation, and I got to get the goblins out, but I should also be with the Dwarven machinery. So I'm torn, but I got to focus on where I am right here, right now. Guarding
Yeah,
the goblins.
Both Mike and Thaddeus are in a tough spot, just as far as like decision making here. I'm Theodore Stringer, game master, inhabitor of the world and all of its inhabitants, except for these fools. And when last we gamed, we were in the green room and we game planned for a little bit too long, and then we were in the exhaust vents /slide, and we were in that for maybe a little bit too long, but we also got to hear a lot of stand-up.
Tight 5.
5 for
I mean,
5.
on the re-listen,
All of this is a lie.
Still laughed at them in the awkward humor
There
of
were-
it all. Not that they were
there
like
were a couple of them.
incredible jokes.
There
but
were a couple of them that was like, yeah, okay, it was pretty funny.
It's like the humor you
take
get
it.
when you watch like Toast of London, where you're just like, ooh, yes.
It's all of my humor.
And then we played a show while Thaddeus and Hrum'Num escaped off to one side and made excellent sneak checks. The band played their gig, and honestly, in the listen, I did not give you guys enough credit. You guys played great.
Crushed ass.
Mhm.
Crushed ass. We didn't hit all of the points that we went in with the thoughts to hit, but I think that's okay.
Yeah, I didn't take the time to like dissect the song the way that I could, but we were sort of rolling in the midst of plot stuff. And because we were rolling in the midst of plot stuff, in the re-listen, I thought that the description overall, like each of the individual things was okay, but like the overall description was perhaps a bit muddled. And so for the player's benefit, I drew a quick map because we are in a large cavern. I described it, I believe, as bowl-shaped a little bit. There's a major divot in the bottom of this cavern. You guys are on a hexagonal platform off to one side of it. The platform in the map has 3 sides with a little angle on it with an X. That is the stage. On either side of the stage, there are ladders going up to a walkway above you. There's also a walkway to the side, not pictured on the map. Haribo saw what looked to be generators to his more modern eyes. Those are noted. Off to the left and across from you is a little plinth with all of the dignitaries of the event, of the Hobgoblin war band. And I failed to mention, but I will mention just because we did get good perception checks, that Satchel and Kandra are also on that dais with the chieftain in his sparkly bolo tie and Miranda and, other dignitaries. And then the final X down in the bowl of the cavern and off to one side is Thaddeus's position with Hrum'Num off to one side on a outstretching chunk of hexagon.
They're down in the bowl.
They're down in the bowl.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
really
still below them,
notate
there's
the
more bowl
raised.
that's like kind of darkened, right? That we can't quite see. There's like something
the
more down
tail
below.
of the tail of the platypus disappears down into darkness. You guys have not been able to really see what's down there from where you're at. We were focused on knocking out some goblin guards and disguising ourselves using their hats. But we should take note of the tail of the platypus. And we reached the end of our song, and all the lights sort of did the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire sort of spinning effect down to the dais on the opposite side. And we were greeted by the Hobgoblin warlord, and then some of the lights shifted to point at Thaddeus and the goblins. And the Hobgoblin warlord, off the top of my head, I don't remember the exact words that he said.
I mean, Haribo will act when he starts talking, but I think it...
I think Sparkleoneous is also going to act whenever he starts talking.
Well, then
Excellent.
we'll bumble into each other, I guess, in a second.
Sparkleoneous looks to his left. Does Haribo look like he's about to leave the dais that we're on? Like, are you about to, like, go somewhere?
As the lights shift, like, fucking less a second or two goes by, and then you see a little field come up over Haribo during the dude's first few words while we don't know what they are quite yet. And the field makes it harder to see him. It's going to give him advantage on stealth checks to move forward.
Well, then Sparkleoneous is sort of like watching you with his body. His pupils have floated around so that you can see that my eyes are on you, and I'm not going to do anything until you leave the immediate area.
Perfect.
So I was about to interrupt the warlord with a tune, but I'm not going to do that until it is less bad for attention to be on us.
Yeah, I'm gonna move quick to this ladder, but once the attention is for sure on their boss.
Okay. Well, the boss he wants to start his monologue, so this is gonna go great. So he steps out onto the thing, and all the lights shift, and he says, "Thank you, kissing booth."
I wave before my field goes up.
And now it is time for us to get to the main event that brings our great family together tonight. As you all know, we tribes are bound together by our great god.
Haribo's moving. He's starting to sneak away. The field goes up. He's stealthing away.
Roll.
While
there's stealth,
Sparkleoneous is perceiving him, right? He does a quick
Yeah.
thumb point towards the generators that he's gonna move to. Even if you don't get it now, you'll get it when he's moving there. It's just more of a that's where I'm headed.
And Sparkleoneous is going to play like a stinger on the words of the chieftain. So like the chieftain is like, gathered here to do our thing, and then Sparkleoneous is going to go just a little quick one.
Are you trying to draw attention, or are you trying to
I'm
fit the
trying
mood?
to slow him down. I'm trying to make this monologue longer.
I got a 14 on my stealth check.
And this dude, for the boss slowing down, is also going to give you Bardic Inspiration, Haribo. I'm not going to give you the Mode of Inspiration because it is a visible light that follows you around, so you don't get that. But please have a Bardic Inspiration.
Is it still a D6 without the moat?
Still a D6.
Okay, but just no extra effects?
Yep, no bonus effect.
Oh, okay, good. That brings me up to a nasty 20.
Hey, okay.
Filthy 20.
And I
The
got a
filthier, the better.
17 on my setting the mood check / slowing down the monologue check performance. I'm thinking charisma saving throw, maybe.
It's great to just give him a little every now and then in between what he's saying.
Or just like every time he pauses at
Yeah,
all.
it's sort of like a jazz stinger almost. Is sort of what I'm imagining.
He tries to keep up with the pace, but it keeps changing because that's jazz, baby.
And I'm trying to slow him down. I'm playing jazz so slowly. This is my new genre, sludge jazz.
Sludge jazz. Wow.
Well, before we try and sort of figure out how I describe all of that, Margery, I think you're the only one we've not accounted for up on stage. Are you also bailing, or do you want to be part of this?
I would like to bail. Well, was the plan also, is it just going to be Sparkleoneous on the stage, Sparkleoneous and Gib? Then is kissing.
We don't have a plan particularly. Sparkleoneous decided to stay on stage and play some stingers and slow this dude down.
I understand we are done though. We did our bit.
No one has really told you guys what to do.
And I'm just gonna leave. If you move with confidence, generally people think that you know what's going on and you have a plan.
That is what I've found. Yeah.
So I'm leaving. We don't have to play anymore. Then I've got my squeeze horn, and Margery is out. Not like bailing y'all, but just Margery
leaves. She's gonna go check on Stu. She's gonna head back to the jail cell.
And she goes solo.
I mean,
day one on my solo journey.
You did say that you were looking for predominantly at the top of the episode a way out. So is that the goal? Are we trying to keep an exant
I'm only bailing if it seems like it's time. This is no longer going to be a viable. I better bail before I get caught too soon and get caught up in all this nonsense and potentially die. Because if I die, then who's going to bring me back?
That's a great question.
It's a great question. Okay, well, I suppose make a stealth check as well.
Go +3. That'll be a dirty 20 for me.
Excellent. All right. Are you headed the direction Thaddeus went or the direction Haribo went?
I think I'll go with Haribo. I'm not sure how much I can contribute to the goblin situation. Hrum'Num and Thaddeus totally got this handle.
I like your confidence. All right. So the two of you slip off to one side to head towards this ladder going up. The goblin chief, get a roll for him really quick, just sort of a charisma vibe check. Okay. So he is giving his monologue, and the first time that Sparkleoneous plays his jazz stinger, he is a little startled and loses his train for a second, but he's not upset about it. He just sort of pauses and takes his moment to recenter himself, and then sort of
gives the circular go on, go ahead, continue, please, go on. It's all good.
He does. He just
and then I interrupt him immediately.
Oh.
You're gonna die before they begin the event.
Not if I turn invisible and run away.
What did you say your performance roll was?
How good are you at running?
17.
Okay. You have one more charisma save before I impose disadvantage. Okay.
Can we roll that now?
No.
Good for now? Okay,
no, I've got... the 17 is your performance roll, so he's just sort of rolling over here to react to it. And he got a 19, so he sort of... He pauses again. He frowns at you guys. I guess not you guys
just
anymore.
me on the
just
stage. Just me.
What about Gib?
Gib does a flip in the silence. I hope it's a good flip.
Sparkleoneous turns to Gib and does a flip motion.
Gib looks at Sparkleoneous and does the go on motion to the goblin chief.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
God.
I knew I had to get out of here before Sparkleoneous.
I'm so glad I left the stage.
Well, you know what? I'm definitely
gone.
drawing attention.
Okay. And you know what? Because you've managed to draw this much attention, I think we have a moment because we're not going to make any progress. We're just going to do this. Hey, Thaddeus.
Yes.
You are standing guard for the hobgoblins, and now it seems like you've got a moment where all of the attention isn't on you. The lights are, some of them, but the hobgoblins are now all sort of looking at the chief and Sparkleoneous. So you have an opportunity here to make a move of some sort, perhaps. You and Hrum'Num are here wearing the hats of the guards. Behind you, in sort of a roped-off pen, are a group of goblins. They're all sort of wearing hard leather and carrying a variety of decent bits of metalwork.
Well, I'm going to gesture to Hrum'Num to follow me. I'm going to undo or lower the rope or whatever I can do with the rope, and I'm going to gesture the goblins follow me with haste, with large hand gestures, and then we're going
to... Follow you where?
I don't have any idea, but we're going somewhere.
Okay.
I think we're going to go north along the edge of the tail to see if we can find somewhere to go down safely.
Okay. I think let's start with a perception check, and then from there we can figure out the next thing we want to do.
Perception is a 16 plus 2 for wisdom, so that's 18.
That's very solid. This half a hexagon that these goblins are standing on, as you sort of peer over the side, you see that it overlooks a deeper cave, probably an additional 35 feet down. There is a sloping base, and that's the ground of the tail here. And that extends down into a rock wall where with an 18 you see a number of different cave entrances down there. And I think also with an 18 you notice looking at the side of the hexagon that you're looking down at, you notice scoring, scratches against the side of this metal piece.
Are these creature scratches? Scoring of claws?
No.
Okay.
You signal to Hrum'Num to cut this rope.
Yeah, to cut it or drop it or whatever he can do with it.
He sets about that and he unhooks it and lets it fall. I guess you go in and amongst the goblins and you find, how are you, like, are you just like, come with me?
Yeah, it's come with me, we gotta go now. To convey the urgency of, come with me, we're leaving now. Let's go. Come on, we gotta go.
Okay. I mean, you know Koryak, so persuasion with advantage, I suppose.
Okay. Oh, that's not great.
And you're not a hobgoblin.
No, I am not a hobgoblin, but I am wearing their hat.
You are wearing their hat.
I'm afraid...
I'm sure one of them saw you knock out the other hobgoblins, though they are just kind of lying over here behind the rope.
With advantage, that's a 12.
Did
So-
you use your bardic inspiration from the last episode?
He did.
Yes, he
no.
did.
Yes, I did.
You had to
Yep.
sneak over here. Okay. With a 12, they look at you and they're like,
What are you talking about? Don't talk to us. You're gonna get us in trouble. Is this a test?
and they all sort of are looking nervously amongst themselves and with suspicion at you. Meanwhile, for the third time, the Goblin Chief is attempting to restart his monologue. Are we interrupting or are we play, with his pauses?
Now I'm playing with his pauses. That was a very pregnant pause, and Sparkleoneous knows what that means. So now I'm going to do it to the best of my abilities, as normally as possible, while still, emphasizing the point and slowing him down, but not interrupting anymore.
Okay. He begins to monologue and he starts to tell the story all the way, and he takes it like all the way back to the god of all of the goblinoids and how he conquered all of the different goblinoids, original like species deities, and sort of brought them all under his banner, and that is how he became the god of all the goblins. He brings it around to the way everything is done in the Goblin Society itself, in their tribe, specifically to the induction ritual to becoming part of the family, the ability to work together to overcome a greater foe. And as he's spooling out this monologue and as Sparkleoneous is playing his stingers, Haribo and Margery have made their stealthy way across to this ladder and have gone up to the balcony level. And up here, there are, as you guys are poking your heads up, there are a couple of guards on patrol, not nearby you guys at this moment, but they'll have to turn around at some point, come back the other way. And off to your left, there is this bank of generators. And I suppose...
Haribo, as he reaches up to pull himself up from like climbing the ladder to like climb up onto the area above, he is gonna like shift into a hobgoblin. Yep. He's gonna pull himself up, and then he's gonna look down at Margery, reach out a hand and pull her up and say, "That was a great show." He's gonna turn around, I guess, and walk away.
Margery is just gonna stare. What does one even say to that?
Such good acting. Exactly how I would expect a hobgoblin to be.
Yeah.
Do your clothes change with your form?
Your clothing and other equipment don't change.
Okay, cool.
So you're a hobgoblin in some overalls and dark
overalls.
ones. And the dark
Okay.
ones, don't forget.
I mean, I have plate mail, so that's currently probably visible rather than like doffed, which we said like could be invisible while it's doffed, but visible while it's donned, covering up a good most of my body at a minimum.
Okay. Hobgoblin Haribo, with Margery following along, head over to the generators. Quick question, do either of you read or speak Dwarvish?
No.
I do speak Dwarvish. Cool.
Hey, okay.
Thank
I
goodness.
learned a lot coming here. Studied.
I'm going to want perhaps an insight check, because this is not today's Dwarvish, but these generators have... Well, let's get an insight check first, and then we'll see what we've got going on.
No, that's gonna be a 6. It's not today's Dwarvish, that's for damn sure. And I had to study like common. I like common Dwarvish.
I mean, the
some
fact that you
ancient
knew modern Dwarvish is miraculous, really, but
Is it miraculous enough for advantage? Miraculous is a good, strong word, and so is advantage. I like them both. You know?
It is a good, strong word. Like you've had to pick up a lot of stuff, and the fact that you also picked up some other languages while you were here. Yeah,
I have some other languages too that are pretty deep, but like Celestial. How do you learn that? I don't know. I studied Horde, I guess.
I'm gonna have to have a look at that character sheet during the season break and have some thinks.
I'm learned at a minimum.
Margery, is there anything that you can do to bring this over the line to an advantage roll?
I don't know Dwarvish.
Do you know the spell Guidance?
Oh.
She knows.
How would I know if I know that? Is the good question.
So on your character sheet in spellcasting, you would check there. It would be in cantrips. It doesn't look like you picked up guidance, which is totally cool. You've made more than use of yours. There's one called Bless, which is, let's see, whenever a target makes
attack
an
rolls
attack
and
roll
saving
throws.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, Guidance
that
is
would
the
be
other
the
one.
closest one to. Yeah, that's at least your spells. Sacred Flame and Toll the Dead are not it.
Yeah, I can make a bell appear. I don't know how that'll help though.
Ding Dong.
Is there a help roll?
Spare the Dying. I'm dying out here. Yeah, there's a help roll in D&D.
Okay.
Assist another character, giving them advantage on their next ability check or attack roll.
Okay.
So is there any way that you can help me in this case? Just like narratively.
Maybe jog your memory or make you think of, I don't know.
I think Haribo probably just ran on in here and like stopped at the very first generator that he came across and was just like, all right, I'm gonna get right to it and decipher this whole thing for starting here.
For sure.
So perhaps Margery, with your urchin instincts, you could help him find the best spot to start. Maybe there's one of these that's not like the others and it's sort of the Rosetta Stone of these ancient dwarven generators.
Can I roll to
The
find
levers.
like breaker box?
Yeah, roll for Breaker Box. The help action is like a wisdom roll or something like that, right?
It's just an action. I guess the way that this overview is going over it, she's using her action to help, providing me advantage.
It's action in combat.
Yeah, in the case of combat, right? Can be used both in and out of combat.
I don't know how do you roll for that?
It technically is not.
It
a
technically
roll for me.
just
Yeah.
happens.
You just state that you're doing that. That's
Like you
the action
you come
you're
into the
taking.
room and guide me over to the breaker box instead, and that gives me advantage because I was focused on this other thing.
Okay, I'll roll with that. I think that all makes narrative sense. Roll that second dice.
That's better. Insight the second time is a 14.
Ooh.
Okay.
The breaker box, they all lead here. I'll figure this out. Is it unpowered? I can power it, I think.
Okay.
Do I need to figure out which ones to flip on?
With a 14, I will give you a thing, and with Margery's urchin senses, I will give you a thing. Margery, you are checking out these generators while Haribo makes his first attempt. And coming around the side and down the aisle of generators, you see that one of them has a little exhaust flame going in the top of it. And you go back around and get Haribo's attention and bring Haribo back around to check this one out. And Haribo, to your estimation, this generator is on and functioning. Just 1 out of 16. You see that the generator has like an on-off that's pretty clear right at the top, only 2 dial options on it. And then below that, there's sort of like a patch panel that links 4 holes to a bunch of different other holes. Each of the holes are labeled in Ancient Dwarvish, and the one that is on is set in a specific configuration.
And is it, if I consider the configuration of the room just really quick, is that in relation? Like, is it the same number in any rows of those? Am I able to look at this and consider the layout and see it as a map of the room at all? Like a map of what it's connected to?
Ooh, that is a good idea.
Right?
I think with your insight in this moment, what I will give you is, I'm sure you can assume that these are connecting to different areas of the room, but what I will give you here is that you recall from being up on stage and from seeing the dais on the other side, is that on the wall panel behind the Goblin Chief, there are 4 levers, 2 of which are broken off.
Mm-hmm. Are we alone in this room? Or is this
This is a sparsely populated, this is sort of like service area kind of vibes, sort of catwalks kind of vibes. So there are some hobgoblin guards doing like patrols up here. So there will be like stealth checks involved somewhere down the line, but not crowded.
Cool. I need to spend a little bit of time trying to decipher at least some of these. I don't know this old dwarvish language. If I could figure out any of this layout, we might be able to utilize some more of these generators. This seems like the power of it all. Could you help me try to find the control center of it? There were a few levers behind the chieftain out there, but that doesn't feel like it should be able to control all these generators.
How did the generators connect to this breaker box we found? Like, is there a way to follow, like, are there pipes that we could follow to like a control panel or something like that? Fantasy pipes? Like, how does it, is that how that works? Yeah.
I think insight is probably the way to go as far as rolling. Or if you're trying to figure out, if you have perception, if you want to try and figure out where things go rather than how things work.
Well, insight's +5, but that would be an 18.
Okay.
I guess I'm just trying to figure out in my brain, like, I don't know, as an urchin, I wouldn't know as many things as Haribo in terms of how it works, but I could look to see that, I can intuit that power needs something that has power probably has the most pipes, tubes, whatever
These
it is.
These are sending out their power in some fashion, right? And if you can figure out
don't forget you learned about electricity from the spiders.
That's true. We did go on a spider tour.
All the pieces are coming together. So with an 18, you notice the connection between the 4 holes on the one side and the 4 levers behind the chief. And then you're like going around the side of it and you see a crack in the side of this generator where you can like peek inside of it, and you see in there a bunch of gears and cogs and such, but over top of that has been laid a bunch of balls and strands of fuzzy foot strands that have all been sort of laid out against the back of this patch panel. And they lead down into the machine.
Like, how does the machine connect physically to the levers over there? Because if it's providing power, is it the fuzzy foot strands running along the ground? Did they, like, tie them up to the ceiling and, like, run them to there? Is it physically connected that way? Or are there, like, do each of these generators go to a different place? Do we see, like, cables or big, like, tubes coming out of them that crisscross the ceiling in weird patterns?
There are fuzzy foot strands that are going down into the floor of this balcony, and that is how the signal is getting to and from this generator. I think with the 18 insight, you intuit that the patch panel on the front indicates which thing this generator is giving power to and which lever controls the activation of the generator.
Okay.
And it's currently set to a specific setting right now, and it is currently turned on and set to a lever. One can assume, because of the fuzzy foot strands, a functional lever.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to start trying to slowly go through some of these letters. Ask Margery to keep a lookout, make sure that, we don't get... This feels
I'll
like...
be on lookout duty.
But yeah, just like try to slowly break down if I could figure out any part of what this panel means to maybe reconnect the wire so it doesn't turn on the thing he thinks it's going to turn on.
Okay,
The moment
is that...
we start mass chaos, it's easier to respond and get out.
Okay. I think there will be another, some sort of an artificing check, because I think I've got an idea of how you can make all of this happen, but there will be another check next time we circle back to you guys. No, I do actually think that we have to sort this out now, because as far as the cinema of the moment, we have to figure out what happens back here. So can I get like an intelligence check that you add your proficiency to?
Yeah,
it's like an
cool.
artificer
That was
check.
going to be my, for sure. Oh, don't love that though. A 7 with my +5.
Bro.
Hey,
Okay.
I just learned Dwarvish. It was like the day before you guys showed up to town. I just finished learning Dwarvish. New Dwarvish too. This is old.
You
Dwarvish.
just unlocked level 3 fantasy Duolingo.
Fantasy Dwarvish was unlocked fucking just about a month ago, and I haven't had to use it yet. Thaddeus is our resident dwarf. Can we say that more help from Margery because she's giving me the time
God, why do I
need
need-
as lookout? You know what I mean? Ugh.
Can I give him words of affirmation?
You got it, buddy.
Let's get one more insight roll, perhaps.
Okay. That'll be a 19.
Oh.
At least
I know
I
so
have
much.
you.
Plus 5,
okay.
baby. Plus 5.
This cannot be the time Haribo's luck changes. Haribo's had nothing but decent luck.
The two of you put your heads together, and Haribo, I think with your artificing knowledge, you're looking at this patch panel and you're looking in the side that Margery's pointed out to you, and you're digging around in your bag, and you have a ball of this fuzzy foot wire. And you're like, I've got this, and I've got this generator. And Margery looks at all of that, and the two of you are talking about the plan of swapping the patch panel, so like what the lever does doesn't do what he thinks it's going to do.
I can't figure out what these mean. I'm just gonna start attaching it to all of them. If I have fuzzy foot wire, I'm gonna start stringing it to all of them.
Between the two of you could come up with the plan to okay, wait, we'll start hooking all the generators together. We'll connect them all so that they all go off. So give me one more artificer check.
That number is a bit better. 13.
Okay.
Very middling.
Very middling. I think at 13 you get 7 of these generators all hooked together over the course of this monologue. The Goblin Chief is talking about the need for strength and unity, and the need to prove that strength in unity before final admittance into the one tribe is granted. He's saying, that is what brings us to this grand cavern this evening. As have we all been on some days. Tonight, our future family will be lowered into the depths of danger and will emerge victorious or sacrifice themselves trying.
I forget to unhook the one generator that I should have unhooked. For sure with a 13.
Whoops.
It's more of, I guess, at this point, but also all of that stuff.
No, but also there's 7 more generators now involved in the equation.
The thing you want, sure, yeah, but also, hopefully.
Yes, but. And so he says, and now I have privilege of starting the main event. And he pulls the lever.
Have all the hobgoblins, ditched the area they were hanging out in, or are they still, is that still the vibe space?
No, they're all sort of down in the, they've sort of gotten back together into a more regimented, evenly spaced, organized formation. Thaddeus, do you have any sort of ways of, I don't know, what is the play? You struck out with the goblins over here a little bit.
Yeah, I did strike out. So the goal is with me and Hrum'Num, is now to physically herd them out of the pen. But now that I've heard what the Hobgoblin King said, it sounds like they're going to be lowered into the pit where I was trying to take them to get them safe. But I don't know what else to do.
We might just have to help them through it.
The idea is that they're supposed to survive this even without you, so if they do have you...
Yeah.
It's possible.
I guess I'm going to help them. I'm going to look at Hrum'Num and say, you better be ready for combat, because we're helping these goblins.
I didn't agree to any of this.
If you want to get out, this is your method out.
Yeah, he accepts that. He doesn't like it, but he goes and he gets the spear from the guard that he knocked out. And the chieftain pulls the lever.
Kronk?
I think things happen all at once, but I'm going to try and describe them in sequence. Margery and Haribo, you see the fuzzy foot strands start to glow, and the cogs within the generators all start to go off and start to do their thing. Did you pay attention to the binary up-down at the top of the generators at all, or were you just patch paneling it?
I mean, every generator we were able to connect, I for sure went and turned on. I was also thinking, because I have it as a cantrip, if it required for me to start the fire, then I could have just been firebolting them towards the back of the room if I needed to start that fire. Like, I had the capability to quickly run through. Or if I needed electricity to start that, I have Shocking Grasp as well, prepared on both.
I think the fire was a good call. I think that that pilot light kind of idea. We're sort of mixing metaphors mechanically, but yeah, I'm going to roll with it. So you've got all of the top switches of these generators all in one configuration. When the chief pulls these levers, all of the generators kick into effect, and Sparkleoneous, you see, I think seemingly at random, 8 of these different hexagons all at the same time begin sinking down into the ground. And this happens...
This is the bottom of the bowl where the goblins
Yes, yeah, where all the hobgoblins are at. And this happens fairly quickly, but all of the hobgoblins that I rolled for in a group collectively each rolled a 2 and a 3 in their sort of responses to any of this. So...
Chaos, baby.
Yeah, there is chaos and consternation and confusion. There are groups of hobgoblins clambering onto each other to try and get out of these holes. There are hobgoblins falling into holes. The goblins are making an earth-shaking cacophony of laughter and jeers and perhaps even throwing things down into the hole.
Fuck yeah, dude. Chaos.
And Hrum'Num, the goblins, and Thaddeus are all descending down towards the tail of the platypus. But I think the goblin chief just pulls the lever back up after a moment of stunned silence watching all of this, just turns around and flips the switch, and all of the platforms stop descending. They don't rise back up, but they are all now like 20 feet down, holes in the terrain. Thaddeus and the goblins are suspended, I think 10 feet above the floor of the cavern and 20 feet down below the floor of where everyone else is. And this cave kind of smells. It smells like meat down here.
Ugh.
And there are like scattered bones and rib cages and things down here.
Yeah.
And at the far end, there are these tunnels.
From the previous goblins that did not prove worthy.
The bones. But the tunnels, we know at
Bones.
some point down here, there might be, if you can find water and follow it, it's likely you can find a way out, right?
These tunnels are a probable exit to the whole mountain problem.
Deeper in, I guess.
Who's going back for Stu, really? That's the question.
I
And
mean,
Barson. Where's Barson in all this?
yeah, me and Margery weirdly could now.
We gotta get Stu.
I mean, Barson's standing orders are, if shit ever hits the fan, go home.
Would Barson
Does
get
that mean
Barson
bringing
would get
Stu?
Stu. Barson would try.
Barson
I
can't
would-
go home without Stu. He cannot walk that far.
Yeah, but Barson's
Okay,
gonna
so
need a
Stu-
hand.
Stu has an
Barson
escape
lives
plan.
in the...
He does.
Where
He
is
has a
Barson
Deus
right now?
Ex escape
Barson's
plan.
wily. He'll wheel and deal his way out.
He's probably already there right now in the false bottom.
Yeah, Barson's already gone.
roll for Barson.
If we can meet up with Sparkleoneous, I mean, we should send some help to Thaddeus for whatever's happening down there.
Yeah.
I think the best way at this point to figure things out sequentially going forward is to have us roll into initiative here.
At least
Just
one
so
of us
that
is in combat. or
Folks
close
have a
to
turn
it.
order.
That is a dirty 20 for initiative.
Mine is also a dirty 20.
Dexterity
Mine's a
bonuses.
14.
Mine is only a +1.
Mine is also a 14.
Oh,
Two
fun.
14s, two 20s.
Everyone else's dexterity bonuses, it turns out.
+1.
Oh,
+3 for Thaddeus.
okay. So Thaddeus is going first, for
Me
sure.
and Margery are equal in both number and bonus. At that point, it doesn't matter. Me and Margery are kind of
I'll take it.
You know, a duo at the moment. Anyway, we can kind of see what's up together.
Write down everyone else now. Okay, so first up is Thaddeus. Thaddeus, you can hear commotion up above, but you cannot see what's going on down there.
So it's 20 feet up and 10 feet down.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and get down, I guess. Because I don't know that there's any way to get back up. So I will go down first, scout it out, and then I can help goblins get down, and Hrum'Num's on his own.
Oh, Hrum'Num. Gosh dang.
Fuck yeah.
I forgot about Hrum'Num too. Okay. An athletics check, I suppose?
All right. 16.
Oh yeah, you climb on down, easy as pie. In fact, hanging on with your hands, it's only like a 5-foot drop.
You get those like pains in the bottoms of your feet when you land like flat-footed, you know, coming down from
Yeah,
fucking
like,
any height at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay here by the edge, or do you want to head forward and try and explore out?
Well, goblins are shorter, so it's going to be a longer drop for them to get down. Yeah, I'm going to tell Hrum'Num to help the goblins get down, and I'm going to go scout.
Okay. Sparkleoneous, you're up on stage. Chaos is erupting below you.
So, here's my question. How far is the stage that I'm on from where the dwarves and the goblins are heading?
I'd say they're probably a total of 100 feet away from you, including the ladder.
Straight down?
It's like back and over and down and over.
How far could I get with a jump? Like, how far and over would I be able to get? Would I be able to just jump right down there?
I want to say no. I don't think there's a way for you to jump.
Strength determines how far you can jump. When you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score. If you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump, which you could back up and get a good running start off this platform. When you make a standing long jump, you can only leap half that distance.
So I could get 10 feet. How far down does 10 feet get me? Hypothetically,
I think that would put you within 40 feet of the edge.
all right, I'm going to cast Featherfall on myself, and then I'm going to do a running backflip to the spot where I'm 40 feet away.
Okay.
I'm going to roll for how cool that backflip is. Oh,
Yeah.
boy. What kind of check is this?
I mean, I suppose it's acrobatics.
That's going to be an 18.
With an 18, you do an excellent backflip, and with Featherfall, you instead of going 10 feet, you go 8 feet.
Wait, let's backtrack. I pick up Gib, and then I do that.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Grab and move.
You pick up Gib and you do a backflip, and Gib goes... And you land and you run a little bit further, and you are 32 feet from the edge of this chasm.
And
The hobgoblins are in confusion. Haribo and Margery.
So they're watching it now as an event. Like the event has started, basically?
The event has started, but also a bunch of the hexagons down in the party pit have all dropped 20 feet, and a bunch of hobgoblins are down in there. So the audience is sort of trying to sort itself out, and the dignitaries will sort of figure their own things out on their turns.
Should we just bail, Margery?
Yeah.
We know our way to the green
Oh.
room and our way out beyond that. I mean, the down in there.
Yeah. When in doubt, bail. That's the urgent way.
Yeah, I mean, we all know to get out, and if we get out, I feel like we could do some work to find each other, and if not, to go back, right? We'll find each other on the road. This one direction home.
Yeah, we'll find each other back at the town that got killed by the Lich.
If we escape if we escape into the town, they are probably not. I gotta be honest. So we're gonna be on our own little adventure for a second if we go that way. Sparkleoneous just followed. Should we go provide backup? I mean, we know that's a way out as well.
As one other thing you could do, I think, after having seen the generators in action, I would say that with a shocking grasp, you could probably get one of these bits moving again.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
You know, as far as another thing
Okay.
you could do.
I'll do that right now. I love that. I vaguely had that thought but didn't know how to accomplish it, and I like what you've come up with, so.
Is there a particular, are you just going in at random, or do you want to mess with, there is the one that you know that was already on that you assume is the one for Thad and the Goblins?
That to me seems like the starting place, like where I would have led everything from. So that would probably be the starting place for the power to want to come from. So if I hit that as hard as I can. I don't think I know from up here that Thad and the Goblins are getting down off of their platform safely. But if I start there and can get more of them to come down, I don't know. Is that a good idea? The chaos they're already focused on that chaos. Are headed this way? Margery, help. I don't know what to do.
I basically gave all the hobgoblins a surprise round to start off just because things are a little nuts.
Ah, fuck it. Yeah, I will shock and grasp the starting point and try to get as many of these generators pumping again as I can.
Okay.
Is
that a attack roll?
Yeah. do
Okay,
you want,
yeah.
Okay. That's a 23.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Rip ass into it.
Don't ask him to read Dwarvish, but he'll hit the heck out of a thing.
I'll shock and grasp it all day long.
You reach on in there and grab the bulb, and Margery, you hear Haribo's belt hum as electricity surges into the web, and it goes far enough that like an additional 3 generators power on with the one that you've got here. And you hear further hooting, and Thad and the Goblins, I think you see that your platform descends the rest of the way and like crunches down into the ground down there. Margery, is there anything that you want to be ready to do?
I'm not really trying to think of what I can bring to the table here.
I think I am
Yeah,
down
mine-
to get out, for sure. I just want to finish
if
the
that's-
chaos.
If we're done with that, then I'm good with just bailing and using my urchin-y abilities to duck and weave through the crowd and find the most efficient way to get the fuck out of town and meet back with the others.
Should we follow them up down, or should we go through the city and split up? We have been a split party for almost this entire campaign.
Yeah, I feel like going through the city would take so long. I think that would double back. I think it'd be faster if we went down with everybody else, right?
It would certainly be easier on the narrative.
Yeah,
I think we should just find a way to get down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Sweet. Love it.
Okay, then Margery, give me a perception.
Perception plus 3, so that would be 17.
Oh, nice. I'm guessing Featherfall isn't a thing that either of you guys are capable of, right?
No.
Okay. With a perception, Margery, you scope out the best way to get to where the rest of the party dropped off. I think that will give you advantage on checks made to get down there.
And it feels like we're still, at least as far as me and Margery go, in the stealth. Our band isn't being targeted as enemies, right? This is just chaos.
This is just chaos, yes.
Okay, that's what I was...
Now the Hobgoblin chief shouts out, "They've done something to the controls."
Sparkleoneous plays a horn stinger.
Are you going to give him Bardic Inspiration?
No, I'm going to give me Bardic Inspiration. No, I'm going to give Gib Bardic Inspiration. That's who I'm giving it to. Final answer.
Oh, okay.
That's fair. That's fair and good.
Yeah.
Gib takes your Bardic Inspiration. Okay. Hrum'Num jumps down with his spear and runs off towards one side of the cave, trying to get close to some kind of a wall. The goblins sort of form up into a little squad with their spears and their swords and clubs, and one of them's like, "All right, like we practiced," and they hustle forward all in a bunch.
Well, Thaddeus is going to keep pace with the goblin phalanx.
So as the goblins come up alongside Thaddeus, the smell very suddenly gets worse, and you hear sort of a high-pitched, I think it's sort of a whine. It's an organic sound. This is a creature is making this sound, sort of a screech, and you hear sharp thuds in the floor of the cavern as pointed scythe legs come crawling out of one of the tunnels, and a many scythe-legged quadrupedal insectoid creature stomps its way out of the cave, and I shot a picture of it to everybody.
What an awful series of descriptors.
Yeah.
And this thing stretches out its neck and cobra-like wafts its head back and forth down at the goblin height. This thing's probably the size of a camel. Which is plenty big for goblins.
Yeah.
And it stalks forward, scenting the air. Gib is last in the order. He doesn't do anything because he's still all tied up. Thaddeus.
Well, I'm going to step forward and swing at it. Well, here's the question. It's coming at the goblins. Obviously, if I'm keeping pace with the goblins, I can step forward and swing at it, right? I don't need to do any crazy movement or anything to get there.
I'd say it's probably 15 feet in front of you at the start of your turn.
Okay, so I've got enough movement to step in its way and then swing at its cobra-like undulating head.
Yeah.
And that is an 18 to hit.
It goes to the runner?
Attacker in this case, because that's the number that you need to hit. That is like the target number.
It's always the one rolling. Okay. Yeah, roll damage.
That will be 6 points of damage.
6 will get there.
Okay, so it's got its head down and it's wafting back and forth cobra-like, and you step in with your hammer two-handed and just sort of underhand golf styles almost swing in and knock it a good one right on the nose, and it rears back, making more screechy sounds, and its front two scythe legs paw the air for a second. Yeah, and then it will react here in a second. Sparkleoneous, what do you want to do?
And I can see all of this action from where I'm at? Or am I just hearing this action?
You're hearing this action.
All right. I look at Gib, and I wink, and we do another backflip towards the action.
And we jump down the next hole.
I'm going to roll for backflip. This one's just as cool. 17.
Fuck yeah, dude.
17. Okay. Is Featherfall still active?
Oh yeah, it's active for a full minute.
We should.
And it is not a concentration spell.
Then I think that, yeah, you run and jump off of the final ledge here, and you do a beautiful backflip. I think that we're going to end the turn with you still in the air, and then your next turn you're going to land in amongst all of this.
Sick.
The hobgoblin's down in the holes. At this point, it's so deep that I don't know exactly how they're going to get out, and so I'm not going to think about it too much. However, the hobgoblin guards up on the railings are now headed towards the generator block.
We gotta get out of here, Margery.
There is one that manages to get between you guys and the ladder on their turn. Now, Haribo and Margery, it is your turn.
Oh, Margery, you can. What's the likelihood of you getting out of here? Because I can just straight, I think, walk out. I'm kind of a hobgoblin right now. I think I should just be able to walk right by him, or join their search or something. But you feel comfortable trying to stealth out of here?
How packed is it? Like, is there a situation where I can be stealthy, or is it doesn't?
I think
seem
that
like...
you would have an advantage on a stealth check made down on the floor because of all of the confusion that is happening.
Why
Up
don't we
here
just-
on the balcony, there is no confusion about who is a hobgoblin guard and who not. They've all got the hat.
Hat. Fuck, I didn't pick up a
I
hat.
thought we
Okay,
were
you're
already
right.
down, aren't we?
No, we're like up on a balcony by some generators. We got to make our way down now 2 ladders.
Yeah, you're kind of a
I gotta look
ways
at my map
away.
again.
Yeah, no, I mean that's ridiculous. We could just skirt the edge of this room. We'll wait till we find an opening and we'll just try to get out there. All we gotta do is make it down. They don't seem to want to follow us into the pit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we could stealth that way, man. My arm is currently outfitted for it. I don't know why I would immediately jump to ditching you. That's sort of a you play. You're sort of rubbing off on me, Margery.
I do what I can, I guess.
Do it again.
What is this thing called again? The creature?
We
It's a
haven't
monster.
gotten to it yet. Its
Just a
name,
monster. What does he have a name? Like Brian or
Stu.
Nelson?
Not in a language that like you're gonna be able to parse, probably, but maybe. Stealth checks.
Stealth checks.
Ooh,
Advantage
that is
on my
good.
stealth
Let's
check.
see.
Woo! Good thing. That first one was a natural 1, but the second one, it's higher. I'll say that much. Stealth.
Sorry.
22?
14.
Damn. Okay. The generators are sort of housed in a wider, deeper area of this balcony, cut into the rock wall here. So you guys sort of slink back to the back of this area and are trying to skirt the wall to try and get around this guard who is between you and the ladder as he's coming in to investigate the generators. Let's give him a perception score. That is a 13. So he's coming in, but you see him go by you at the end of the row and come around the corner. You hear him exclaim at your handiwork with all of the fuzzy foot strands back there. They've wired it up! But yeah, you guys slip around the side and stealth your way, I think, at least to the ladder.
We might just have
Down
to
to
jump.
the-
Margery.
Down to the stage floor.
We might just have to jump.
That's quite the jump.
Is there? Can I land on someone, or is there?
I mean, you could make an acrobatics roll to land on someone.
Is something I can land on to soften the fall? I guess?
Sparkleoneous.
Sparkleoneous stuff. I guess it's
Hrum'Num.
awesome.
Yeah, have
Can I
they
land on
seen
a
me
guard
do
or
my sick
something?
flips into the pit?
I kind of want to say no, but
How could they
Sorry,
not?
guys.
I like a no, but how could they not? He's performing in the pit.
I think they probably saw your initial flip off the stage into the down below.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so you guys are down there and we can figure out what happens with you guys next turn. The goblins going to take advantage of Thaddeus's attack here to try and do something. And they rolled a critical 20.
Wow.
They're gonna do
Okay.
something, all right.
Dim boys.
So the goblins all form up on this creature in their squad. And as it is distracted and its head is thrown back from Thaddeus's blow, they all huddle around its front 2 legs. And they're all, like a team of them, are all attacking with their axes to try and get any kind of purchase into this leg. And then some of them are crawling up the backs of the axe wielders up onto the leg to try and get up onto this creature and attack its main body. And that went really well for them so far.
Yes, it did. God, we didn't need help
Hrum'Num
at all.
Yeah, good rolls. Good rolls and good distractions. Hrum'Num does straight up nothing.
Classic.
That man.
Gib in midair here with Sparkleoneous is going to throw his knife at the monster and use his bardic inspiration.
Lots of armor on that. Good luck, Gib.
It's a D6.
The mote of inspiration does pop. Tell you what happens if he hits, because it doesn't do anything if he doesn't hit.
It doesn't hit.
It just pops.
Yep,
Gib.
the dagger flies down and the hilt of it bounces off the creature's back.
Sparkleoneous size.
It would have been really cool if it had hit. Thaddeus, it's your turn.
Ooh, back to me. Okay. While they are keeping its legs busy, is its head back in range? Or do I need to move in and strike at a leg or somewhere else?
I'd say its head is not yet back in range, but you're tall enough to easily strike at its body.
Then I will strike at its body. Body blow. That's a 19 to hit.
Yeah, that hits.
And that is 13 points of damage.
Damn.
Nice.
And while he's on a roll, he's going to action surge and take another attack. And he missed. He rolled a 1.
Nice.
One
Blew
is
his
not
action
good.
surge and whiffed hard.
We all saw it too.
We all
Yeah.
saw it. Oof.
Yeah, not his best work.
Oh, Thaddeus.
With your first blow, you put a visible dent in the side of this creature. There is a hammer-shaped shape left behind by your weapon, and the creature roars and sort of stumbles away from you, and you come in to sort of press your advantage, and you completely whiff, and you stand there for a moment like, what have I done? And the creature slashes blindly at you with one of its scything legs, but it rolled a 2. So, blindness is as blindness does. Sparkleoneous, you land down in the midst of all of
Superhero
this.
land. One fist down.
Superhero
land. One fist down.
No knees, so you can't destroy them.
The other arm wrapped around Gib, who is also superhero landing in my arms.
Wait, no, Gib already attacked the monster, didn't he?
He pulled
Gives in my
one
arms.
of his arms out through the Sparkleoneous stuff. It wasn't good, but he
All
did
right.
it.
Yeah,
I love
he,
it.
yeah, he missed, remember?
He's got his arms out like Superman. I'd say that you've landed sort of behind the action, perhaps 10 feet from all of the goblins and the monster and Thaddeus, and I'd say 15 feet from Hrum'Num the other direction.
That's fine. Sparkleoneous is going to point at the monster, and Sparkleoneous is going to say, "Hey, stupid, what do you get when you cross a cow with a farming implement? A scythe of beef, stupid." And then that's vicious mockery. So go ahead and give me a wisdom saving throw from this monster.
Want to... Okay, well, that doesn't say that it has to understand the language, does it?
Or it doesn't.
It knows tone.
It just has to hear me.
It knows
Yep,
he's
see,
mocking him.
one creature you can see or hear within range. Okay.
Yeah, it explicitly says it does not need to understand you.
So am I rolling?
Yep, wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw. 17.
That's too high. He doesn't care. Sorry, that one didn't land. And then I'm gonna
Not as well as you did, no.
I'm gonna bardic inspiration Gib again. Maybe you have one, Gib. Do you have a good joke for stand up? I'm all tapped out, I think.
We'll find out. Maybe I can come up with one.
Why don't you take the next 6 seconds to figure one out?
Margery Haribo, you are on the stage level now.
How far away is that from the monster?
130 feet, plus a drop.
So out of spell range. It's a
Yeah, I
big
think there's
cave.
still a floor below us. So, yeah, Haribo's just going to sprint for it. Sprint for a hole so he can dive down and help out. Or get out of here, mostly.
Yeah, I too do not want to be here. This seems like a not ideal spot.
Okay, then I suppose you spend your turn moving as much as we can.
70 feet
70 feet.
with a sprint.
So you are within 30 feet of the ledge here. Can we
Are you
get
the other-
stealth checks with advantage?
14.
19.
Nice. The relevant hobgoblins rolled 6s. You guys make your way through the chaos, heads down, maybe arms over your head or whatever to blend in with the various hobgoblins here. The chief is yelling,
Search everywhere. Be methodical. We can't let them escape. Untangle their webs.
The troop of goblins have rolled another critical success. Glad they're absorbing all of those particular rolls. So yeah, they climb up the legs of the monster, and 2 of them get up onto its back and start stabbing it.
We need to have these goblins train the kobolds.
And one of them whiffs hardcore, but one of them does manage to drive their knife deep into the side of its neck. Hrum'Num is going to move up the side of the platypus's tail, sort of skirting the perimeter of the area, moving towards these cave entrances.
The stories of his cowardice that I will tell in the Dwarven City will be legendary.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll all go, classic Hrum'Num.
Mm-hmm.
Gib looks to you, Sparkleoneus, and says,
Do you have another knife?
Yeah, sure. Just reach into the pot.
Oh yeah, okay.
You gotta go back in though for it. If you want it,
You gotta earn it.
you gotta
It
earn
doesn't feel good to do this, but
You gotta really want it.
I'm not a fan.
it burns.
I'm not a fan either, but it isn't my turn.
yeah, so he roots around in there and gets a dagger and flings it and rolls a 5.
Aw.
He reaches in, grabs your dagger, and fucking just hucks it somewhere.
Sparkleoneous size
my own
again.
dagger.
For another one.
Sparkleoneous size again.
It's your fault for making it all slippery.
You're going to have to go find that later.
No, I won't. You're not my mom.
It's my only dagger.
Not anymore.
Yeah, take that off your inventory list.
I think, Thaddeus, it is your turn.
Ooh, it's back to me. Okay. Then I will adjust my positioning with movement of the beastie, and I will attempt to strike it again. So I'm going to attempt to sweep one of its back legs, like come through parallel to the ground, hammer strike, and attempt to knock one of its legs off balance, if possible.
Okay.
And that's an 8 to hit, so I'm afraid that was too technical. I just should have gone for the body blow.
Yeah, you try and strike one of these scythe tips, but it's really hard, and your hammer just bounces off of it and sort of jars your arms. Sparkleoneus, you're behind the scrum.
How's the creature looking, other than terrifying?
It has several noteworthy wounds now.
Okay, alright. I'm gonna move to the point where I am within 20 feet of this creature. I'm gonna puff out my chest. I'm gonna step right up 20 feet of this creature. And then Sparkleoneus is gonna say, "Everybody, get ready to run." And then Sparkleoneus is going to play his Song of Slumber. I am gonna cast it as a level 2 spell, which is going to give me grand total of 35. If the creature's hit points are lower than 35, he falls asleep.
That's it? It just passes out?
Uh-huh.
It's not just if it is, right? It's not just if it's under 35, it falls asleep. It's like the number, and then you're removing.
I see. It's 20 feet of a point I choose. So what I do, because are they surrounding this creature?
They're all over the front of him, and Thaddeus is off to one side.
I could pick a point within 20 feet that's probably doesn't have anybody else in it.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, 20 feet circle that's away from everyone else.
Okay.
I didn't think about there just being one creature in there. Sorry. That's funny.
Yeah, I mean, technically it goes from lowest hit points to highest, but it's just him now. I'm playing at him. This is a song for the Scythe Beast.
Lullaby for the Scythe Beast. Yeah, I mean, it perks its head up, and it looks over at Sparkleoneus, and then it seems like it's doing the Cobra Weave again, but it's actually just kind of tottering, and its knee joints all sort of buckle underneath it, and the goblins. Thaddeus, make a dexterity save.
Boy, all right, hang on. That would be a 21 for a dex save.
Lamau.
Dang, okay, nice. Its legs buckle underneath it, and the goblins that were all sort of on and around it collectively rolled a critical failure for getting out of the way. So you with a 21, you managed to sort of jump in and scoop up 3 of them sort of under one of your arms and snatch them out of the way of this beast folding down onto them. And Sparkleoneous, you say something.
Everyone, we need to escape. Koryak misses you.
Nice. Advantage on any future persuasion check interacting with this group of goblins.
Anime sparkles behind
including
him.
this persuasion check.
I mean, are you trying to persuade them to do something?
Yeah, to escape with me, because I know their friend Koryak, and he misses them. I said
mean,
get
yeah,
ready to
yeah.
run. I prefaced the
Okay.
sleep spell with get ready to run.
I see. Well, hell yeah. As far as you can tell, yes. They're ready to run.
Let's GTFO, which of course in this case stands for Goblin the fuck out.
Margery and I are going to jump down there, and there's only going to be hobgoblins left.
I know, we miss everything.
Yeah, but also we still won't know where our team is, and we'll be with the hobgoblins who we don't want to be with.
I think can Margery
So funny.
reach out to Gib? Isn't that a thing that we established?
We could follow, yeah.
You assume Gib was with Sparkleoneous.
He's sure
We could
not on
follow
the
that
stage
way.
anymore.
I just think it's so I think it's so funny.
No, yeah, the jumping down into the pit where the perilous combat is supposed to be happening, and then you get down there and it's just the creature asleep and no one else is pretty funny.
So good.
You were so ready to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Haribo and Margery, you are 30 feet from the edge of the precipice here.
The 20-foot drop, I mean, I guess as we're sprinting, Margery, we might just have to jump in the holes.
I'm gonna land on a hobgoblin or two.
Perfect. Yep, into the closest hole. Still sprinting, so like 30 feet to the hole. I think Marjorie's probably got another 30 feet if she's sprinting, right? And then I've got another 40 because I have the extra 10 from my armor.
Well, it's a 30-foot drop, but it's only one jump.
Oh, because I did turn the machine back on. Fuck, that's right. Okay, yep. Right about
Make acrobatics checks.
Ooh, 30 feet.
that. 30 feet is a pretty far jump. Natural 20.
Nice.
Fucking fly.
What are my pluses?
I am
rolled
Iron
19,
Man.
so I think it's gonna be good. But what are my pluses? Plus 1. Oh, so it'll be a 19.
Okay. And you got a crit 20?
Oh, yeah.
We're good jumpers, apparently.
Yeah. Pretty good jumpers. Margery, you tuck and roll as you jump and make it to safety. Sparkleoneous, can you catch someone?
Yeah, probably. I can give it a
As long
shot.
as you don't land on the pot.
I throw Gib at you, and then Gib sort of interrupts your momentum, and then I catch you both.
That doesn't sound like it would work at all.
But it sounds cool, though, right? It's a natural 20. If it's gonna happen at all,
If it's your natural 20,
let me give it a shot.
he said it's a natural 20. I hope.
It's not a natural 20. Yeah, I'll catch somebody.
I'm sorry, did you roll to throw Gib?
Yeah, I just throw him to the side, so that my arms are free.
Okay. Good save.
I don't roll him. I don't throw Gib 30 feet in the air. Come on, not with what I rolled.
Yeah, okay. You push Gib out of the way and step in and do, the same way that you caught the barrels in previous adventures and sort of swished them off to one side.
For a moment, it sounds like you're underwater. Just for a short moment.
And you weren't able to diffuse all of his momentum, but you catch him and you send him sort of rolling off to one side. Each of you take 3d6 fall damage, but Margery, you take half, and Haribo, you take a quarter.
Cool.
So I take 3d6 falling damage. Is that what you're saying?
No.
13, so 4 still. That's smarts.
I take half, you said?
Half of the number that you roll, yes.
That's 5 damage. Owie.
Yowie.
And I think
sting my
as the,
palms and my knees really bad.
As the dust settles from this crazy jump, shadows fall on the lot of you in this pit as hobgoblins start forming up on the edge of the pit and on the railing way high up, 50 feet up, 2 balconies up. And I think we end the episode with you guys standing around the sleeping creature, caves behind you, and above you, hobgoblins with crossbows. And we will find out what happens next.
Yes.
On Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice.
Oof, good job, Gabe.
Loving it.
What?
This season of Dungeons, Drive-Ins, and Dice is DM'd by Theodore Stringer. The players in this episode were Lawrence Jennings as Sparkleoneous, Grace Stringer as Margery Ridgeback, Mike Harrison as Thaddeus Ofkoot, and myself, M. Williams, as Haribo Tamagotchi. Make sure you rate and review the show wherever you're listening in from, and follow us over on YouTube to catch the sessions live. Next episode drops on March 13th. We will see you then. Everyone else? That's too
to a degree.
Crowd Goblin number 1. Crowd
Yeah.
Goblin number 2. Crowd Goblin number 3. This one's name is Gregory. He's important.
I have all their names still written down on a notebook, I think, like right somewhere with
Critical to the plot. Gregory is.
I bet those
Miranda
two
also.
elven children were critical too. They'll come
Mhm.
back.
They were not to be trusted, those elven children.
Mm-mm.
It was a
That
trap.
was,
No.
they were the big bad coming to scope us out
Hey,
before.
you don't have to tell me. I told them no, and I was the one that told them no first, I think.
It's true. I just told them to buck up, Buttercup. Do